Reform UK conference is underway, as you'll know, and Deputy Leader is Richard Tice, as you will know, and he joins us now. Good to see you, Richard. Good morning to you. Are you a bit frustrated that...
very good morning to you here from Birmingham.
But what has been the biggest conference season you've had, a lot of enthusiasm, fantastic results in the polls at the moment, and yet you all ended up being a little bit overshadowed yesterday by the goings-on in Westminster.
You mean the chaos and carnage of what's left of Starmer's cabinet? Look, there is a mood of hope and optimism here at this incredible reform conference because our thousands and thousands of members and delegates, we see light at the end of the dark tunnel of socialism that we're all stuck in at the moment. And our leader yesterday said, get ready for a general election in 2027 because the reality is that this government is falling apart in front of our very eyes in a mire of sleaze and financial chaos, and the bond markets are rebelling. So this cannot go on for another 3 3/4 years.
Can you explain what it was like for you and Nigel Farage yesterday when you heard that, or you realised that Angela Rayner was about to resign, or you knew she had resigned? And we know that Nigel was going to give his speech much later on. You decided to bring it forward. What was the thinking behind that?
Well, we knew that Labour were going to try and deliberately carry out their reshuffle in the middle of Nigel's speech, which was set for around about 4 o'clock time. So that's the thing, you see, we're adept, we're smart, we can be nimble, we can move. So we adjusted the programme, moved Nigel forward, and once again we stole a march on the lumbering dinosaurs of the deep socialist Labour government. And we'll be talking, we've got some great events and speakers and fringe events today. We've got a very special guest later on stage, and then I'll be speaking also about how actually we can get the economy motoring again despite the gloom of the crisis with government finances at the moment, how we can save massive amounts of wasteful government spending all over the place, cut daft regulations. That's what I'll be focusing on to make us all more prosperous again. That's what I think all of your viewers and listeners want.
I'm intrigued by this idea of 2027. Look, nothing like being prepared early, admittedly. But if you're going to be ready for government by 2027, you've got a lot of work to do. We were talking to Zia Youssef yesterday, who admitted, you're putting forward these policy ideas that may be detailed in and of themselves, but they're like individual pieces of a jigsaw, and we're yet to see the big picture. We're yet to see them all interconnect, to see how we're going to have a coherently run country. You've got a huge amount of work to do.
As a journalist, I always need to remember more in less time. And you know what I really hate? Taking notes. It wastes loads of time and you forget stuff. And that's where Plord comes in. This is the Plord Notes, a sleek, pro-level AI note taker that records and creates notes for you. Whether you're listening to a long podcast, stuck in a meeting, or on an important call, Plord captures everything at the tap of a button. Then it gives you a smart, structured summary with all of the key takeaways. It even recognises different speakers by their voice, and you can choose from bullet points, to-do lists, or even mind maps. Your data's safe too, with end-to-end encryption and global privacy compliance. And with Plord's built-in AI, you can search everything you've ever recorded just by asking a question. It's slim, magnetic, under 30 grams, lasts up to 60 days on standby, and over 1 million people are already using it. Hit the link in the description and use code GB10 for £10 off your Plord order. Save hours of time and never miss a detail again. Link in the description below.
Hey, listen, we're not afraid of hard work, rolling our sleeves up and getting stuck in. That's why we've grown so incredibly quickly. That's why you had the detail of the detention and deportations policy last week. Patience is a virtue, Stephen, and I think you'll see over the coming months lots more really fantastic policies that appeal to the nation. And people know that they can trust us. When we say we're going to do something, we get it done, we work it out, and we will be getting ready. And of course, yeah, we've got to work incredibly hard, but that's what we're good at because we've got a successful track record of that. And that's why I think we're leading in every national poll, the last 100 or so national polls, on average now by 9, 10, sometimes 11, 12% ahead of the collapsing Labour Party.
One of the intriguing ideas that Nigel Farage put forward in his speech was that actually, in order to sit in cabinet, to be part of government, you don't actually have to be an MP. You could be a specialist brought in, a business person or something like that. Do you feel, intriguingly, that the reshuffle that was happening in Downing Street almost illustrates that point, that at the moment we have a system where ministers can be a specialist in one department 1 minute and then suddenly move to another?
Yeah, it's a real issue within the way that we do governing in this country, is that you have basically sort of policy wonk think tank people who've been special advisors who end up running major departments like the NHS, like the Ministry of Defence, with no expertise whatsoever. And that's why actually having a blend of really experienced wisdom and knowledge about a particular department, blend that with people who are elected, can be the best of all worlds. And Nigel spoke about that. A couple of other critical things that Nigel talked about. One was that we've got barristers working to ensure that we end the nonsense of our veterans and military personnel being sued years after events. We're going to stop all of that. And Nigel announced that we're going to prescribe the organisation Muslim Brotherhood that is already prescribed in large parts of the Middle East. And I can tell you already, that has gone down very, very well with many of our international partners.
Yeah, but we were talking to a former Labour advisor in the last hour, and Matthew Torbett, you'll know him, and he was at the conference yesterday, actually, and he's no fan of the current Labour government, it has to be said. But his criticism of Nigel Farage is that he seems to give simple answers to complex questions. Now, the criticism there, I guess, is there's not enough depth to the answers.
Oh, I think, frankly, there's nothing complex about deciding that you want to prescribe the terror group Muslim Brotherhood. Nothing complex about that at all. Many other nations have already done so. Frankly, we've been weak and feeble because of our Foreign Office in not doing that currently. There's nothing complex about deciding that you want to stand up and protect our brave military veterans and protect them from ridiculous lawfare. Actually, this stuff just requires courage, conviction, principle, and that's who we are, and that's why we're leading in the polls.
We've had several people already getting in touch saying that even if you feel that you've been overshadowed slightly on the front pages today, actually membership zoomed up yesterday for Reform UK. And I know that you're giving a big speech today. Is there anything particular you're going to stress today?
That's right, we blasted through 240,000 members yesterday, and many more are joining literally as we speak. And yes, I'll be talking about how actually we're already having a huge influence on the way that things are being done in this country, whether it's with regard to the Bank of England, whether it's with regard to net stupid zero. I'm having a huge influence on the debate, the issue of the ridiculous renewable subsidies. So I'll be expanding on that, and also the influence on council spending. I had a big press conference earlier in the week. I'll be reinforcing that. So in a sense, talking about how actually we're already making waves, making a difference, and people can see that's just the beginning.
Just the very last point, Richard. I want to know, and this is crucial, what your opening number will be before your speech.
My opening number. You'll have to wait, you'll have to stand by and watch it, Stephen. I couldn't possibly give you that exclusive this morning. I'm so sorry.
I'm looking